Pretty good, pretty good.
And we are live, I think. This is Growlersations episode 19. We are once again at a super secret location. My name is Sam Wynn. I've got my partner Jeff Freeman over there. And then I've got Ken Bethea of Old 97's and Pete Freedman from Central Track. And,
not the old 97's.
What's that?
Not the old 97's.
Oh yeah, it's Pete not of the Old 97's. Correct.
Man.
Ken is coming to have a Growlersations with us because he's got a whole bunch of awesome things coming up this weekend. Sold out shows at Barley Fest, 25-year things at Kettle Art, and of course Old 97's County Fair, which is coming up. So we thought we would get together, drink some beer, and talk because that's what we do. So cheers to not having a plan for the next 30 minutes. So this is Main Street Kolsch, one of our favorite spring seasonals. It's one of those funny hybrid styles. It's not really an ale. It's not really a lager. It's kind of a little bit of both. It's definitely we don't filter. That's just Drew being a badass brewer and having his technique dialed in tight.
Man,
yeah.
And you could have had it hazy and been all the rage.
He filters it through grain. That's what he filters it through.
We just haze everything, bro.
Oh yeah, totes hazy
good looking
all
beer.
the time.
You
Well, thank
beer
you.
drinker?
What's that?
You a beer drinker?
Not that much.
Do you drink on stage?
Not that much.
When you drink on stage, what do you drink?
Beer, wine,
What beer?
whatever I can find around the backstage.
Do you have is there liquor or booze on the 97's rider?
There was forever. It was forever. It was well, it used to be a lot, just whatever, right? And then there was a lot of Stellas and a lot of Budweiser. This came from Philip. Okay, and that went on, and then there was always a giant bottle of whiskey that was Rhett Miller's whiskey. Well, anybody could have it, but he was a big whiskey drinker. And that ended up with Jameson. It was something before. I don't remember what it was before. And,
Power.
Yeah, well, again, it starts with the cheapest crap, right?
Yeah.
Dewar's or whatever. And
Dewar's
then,
is fine.
no, it doesn't taste good. But then it ended
Scotch.
up with a Jameson, but then Rhett was drinking too much of it, so he quit drinking. So
It doesn't drink? Wow.
like 2 years ago, which is a good. It's a
definitely
great thing.
drank with him at Twilight. I don't want to blow up his spot, but 2 years ago, okay.
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
So,
what classy stuff does Marty drink?
What the heck? Why are we talking about drinking? Let's talk about some cool stuff. Old 97's, man. That's a really cool thing. Been doing that for a while. I saw you at Marfa, Trans-Pecos Music Festival.
Yeah.
Cool. That was one of the coolest experiences ever. But
Were you in the tent later when Rhett and David and all them were singing?
No, I wish, man. That would have been. Where was my invite, dude?
All right, y'all want to hear it? This is a good little bit of story.
Let's
When was this?
This was about 4 years ago.
2014, I think.
Yeah. So Trans-Pecos Festival, it's in Marfa, Texas, and it's fun. If you
Queller,
ever get an
Heartless
opportunity to go.
Bastards, Deer Tick. That was the group on the top.
All these bands, and it's only about 800 or 900 people that go there. 1,000, 1,200, 1,500. So it's not like a festival like Bonnaroo
Wilco did it last year.
where
It was
everything
getting big,
sucks.
but yeah, go on.
So Rhett told me after the show, so there's these permanent teepees there. And Rhett said, hey, after the show, everybody's going to David's tent, that David Garza, Austin legend dude, right? So I went in there, and I got there a little late, and I walked in, and first of all, it was packed. It was 40 people in this tent. And it was dark. And there, I could hear Rhett and Ben Queller singing some Beatles song, A Hard Day's Night or whatever. So the musician jam was going on. So I squeezed my way in. And when I sat, I just went over near Rhett because, in that area where they were, you couldn't see hardly. I sat right in the middle of about 5 young ladies. It was awesome because it was a guilt-free, fun moment. I just go, all right, cool. I'm just staying. It doesn't matter. So the guitars. So Rhett was in there. Ben, David, John Doe from X.
Oh, nice.
And Jesse Dayton.
Ladies.
And a bunch of ladies and me. So eventually I got to hold the guitar and play along with him. I got to play a song, Just Me and Ben, which for me was a
cool.
I don't know, it was cool. I thought it was really, really a treat, right? I didn't know the song, I just play along with. Well, then a girl walked in that didn't know any of the musicians there. And her friend, her boy guy with her said, oh, this is, whatever her name was, this is Natalia, you gotta give her a shot, she's the best. And so everybody just got quiet and thought, okay, maybe this is somebody. Well, that's one of these girls that sings at karaoke,
Okay.
and she got
How
a
do you call it
guitar.
karaoke?
She did Radiohead "Creep."
No. What? There's a there. Okay, first of all, she could
Friends
barely
in
play
low
guitar.
places.
She could barely play guitar. Like she would play and have to stop. The first song she opens with is, if y'all, this is the #1 girl singer that can't sing but wants to be.
I don't know.
Me and Bobby McGee.
Oh, all right.
So she rolls the beam Bobby McGee, and then as soon as she finished,
it was cover up some rain.
yeah, and it was so lame. Then she went with.
You gave her another
She did
song?
two. She did two.
She did like 6 or 7. She wouldn't stop,
right
and it was dark, and
You
we
guys
couldn't
are
see
too
each other's
polite.
face. And finally, Ben Queller, because we were
God
all
bless him.
thinking it was kind of funny. Finally, Ben Queller broke in and said, "I got one too." And he went right into Brown Eyed Girl, and
Nice.
everyone got the joke, right?
Yeah.
Now we're just singing the cheesy classic rock songs, and so
Sweet Caroline.
yes, it was a lot of fun. And now when I see them other guys like Jesse Dayton, I ran into, we're like, remember that night at TV when the karaoke girl took over?
Hey,
So as an artist at like Trans
Yeah,
Pecos, where do you get put
signed
up?
to
I
it
mean, it's
later.
not like there's like hotels or anything. Do they give you a teepee in the back? It's like, you know, they just don't tell anyone you're there. Like, how does that work?
The answer is much lamer. We had a tour bus there,
Oh yeah.
so we just stay on tour bus. So
Right
I would
on.
like to stay in one of those teepees.
I Airbnb when I try to. I've been out 2 of the last 4 years. One of my good buddies, Christian Petrie, loves that thing, and he's like, "I've got a house. Anytime you want to go, you're staying with me for free." And he Airbnb stuff like a year in advance so that he's ready to go because everything books up.
are you
But,
gonna do you stay at home this weekend, or are you gonna stay at the hotel downtown?
I'll stay at home. 'Cause I don't live that far from here.
know.
I live near Flagpole Hill.
So you and Philip are the only ones who live in Dallas, right?
Yes.
Right? Where are the other guys?
Murray lives in Pasadena, California, and Rhett lives about 2 hours north of New York City. Kind of in a Rhett lives in the country. It sticks.
Yeah.
Wait, but what's going on this weekend?
I don't know. Well, a lot's going on.
Yeah.
Well,
3 events.
we're
Why don't
doing
you
a
run them down?
podcast at the Brain Dead Brewing Company,
It's a video. thing.
YouTube.
and
It's a vlog.
We don't know what it is.
so tomorrow night we're gonna play at the Barley House, but like we used to.
But thanks
One of
for
the
including
first 3 or 4 places we ever used to play. But
Is that it's like an anniversary for Barley? Or what
it's
is
their
it?
anniversary, and it's Brent Best from Slobberbone, and I think Death Ray Davies, although on the thing it says Cantina, but I think it's gonna be Death Ray.
Oh, cool.
And then us, and then a band I produced a record called Western Star is playing afterward from Maryland, and it's gonna be really fun. I do think it's sold out, but
Yeah.
whatever, it's still fun. And then the next night, the really cool thing over here across
down
the
the street,
street at the Kettle Art
Yeah, Kettle Art.
Yeah.
Company, Kettle
Kettle
Art,
Art.
Kettle Art.
Frank Campana, what's up?
I just went in there,
Shut up,
and
Frank.
they have all these. Jason Janik, a local photographer, has gotten all these photographers to get all these pictures of us through all the years, 25 years of the band. This is our
25 years.
25th anniversary of the band this year.
Quarter century.
And it's crazy. Like, I was walking through there, and the most thing that's interesting, like, I remember those pants. I remember those shoes. You know,
Remember
your
it? It's the
clothes.
outfits that
Yeah,
stick
you
to
remember
it.
the outfits.
It's not the songs or the stages. It's the pants.
Hey, what happened to those shorts? I have some with shorts on over there.
How much does your outfit affect your performance?
Well, a
Wow,
little
he's taking
bit.
this way seriously.
A little bit more than
I was going for laughs. At that
You got to get.
question.
No,
I
that's
didn't
the
get
truth. You got to get good
It's gotta be a
shoes.
thing, it's your
If your
confidence.
shoes are right and your shirt is right, then I'm in pretty good shape.
How much pre-planning goes into which T-shirt you're going to wear on stage? Is that like
Not a whole lot,
I
but
only
got
brought
it.
7.
I've
Yeah.
got the sweet one.
I mean,
for
you do
the-
but you're like a Pearl Snapper band tee guy.
I planned
right?
my shirt today.
Andes. I
This
go
was
with
like
t-shirt
a day where I woke
comic
up, I had a
tees.
shirt.
or just a shirt I like that feels good. The thing I learned about 15 years ago was don't take anything on tour that you wouldn't wear on stage. That way you can't go wrong or be stuck with a shirt you don't love.
Yeah.
So now I just take, other than maybe like a pair of shorts or a pair of like warm-up pants or whatever, like
I'd
these.
imagine, yeah,
That's
going
a
on
roll
tour,
around
it's
in.
like taking the like
Laundry day.
18. It's
Just-
like going on
you don't wear
vacation.
those
It's
out.
like you bring all your favorite gear.
Yeah, bring your favorite gear. I mean, because the thing is, you get home sometime and you realize you had on horizontal stripes and it looked like this the whole night. You just look like you were like this guy. You're like, don't take any horizontal stripes on tour, man. So bummer.
No,
But
write
you
that
were
down.
just
No
looking at the
horizontal
photos,
stripes.
though, right?
after
I
it.
mean, did it bring some memories back?
Yes. I mean, there's a couple of Ricks up in Denton that we used to play at, and it was packed out and crazy. And I was looking at this one, I was like, that's a Rick's. I recognize the balcony and the look, and yeah, it's great. It's super, super cool. Yeah.
Well, and we haven't even talked about the big event yet. So on Saturday,
Yeah.
So they
Working our way
So
towards.
So now this is the third one. We hooked up with Josh Florence, Club
County
Dada,
Fair.
Old 97's County Fair. It's a festival in downtown Dallas, and we've been wanting to do a festival for a long time, but we finally hooked up with Josh and got our shit together on it. And it's really fun. It's kind of a real nerve-wracking day because there's a lot of guest lists, and you get cousins that morning going, "Hey man, free ticket," but super fun. We got this time we got Lord Huron, which is a apparently super popular band. I just like they have this album I've listened
They're
to a whole lot
super
called
KXT
Strange Tales. Yeah.
They're like classic KXT band.
Dude, I can't wait. I've never seen them, but the guitars on it are sick.
Yeah,
the
no,
tones and
they're
stuff.
cool.
I can't wait to check that out. About a year and a half ago, I listened to like KXT, and there's a song came on called Shakedown. I was like, that's a great song. It's Valerie June. I never heard of her. I looked her up. She's a chick from Memphis. So when we were looking last summer, I get the credit for Valerie because I was like, this girl Valerie June's awesome. And then you have to follow that with, I hope she's not too expensive.
Yeah.
So that's the way it works.
And that's the cool thing about this is you guys book the festival yourselves.
Yes, we book it,
Oh,
or
wow.
or
Or you're
we're
like,
involved in it all. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you're actually sending the emails, but you're like curating it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we argue over it, and not argue, but just what about this
But that's a fun conversation though.
Totally.
Like, is it like a fantasy football draft, or you all come in with like ideas?
yeah. We send a list, and now we've learned, like you say, first 3 rounds would be like your just before us,
I love that.
your after 4 bands, pre-4.
Yeah.
Tell everybody who you want the day before so they can figure out their argument against that person.
Yeah.
It's usually more of the
Discovery.
band on the same page against the evil people who tell us no, like our manager or booking or Josh. Well, this isn't working, and it really
Totally.
sucks too when you have
Josh.
somebody you think's perfect. Like for 2 years, I keep saying,
Who's your white whale?
Willie Nelson. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Well,
But when
okay.
you get past that, when you get to Reality Land, it's Dropkick Murphys.
Oh, cool.
And
Whoa.
and everybody goes,
Yeah.
you know what everybody says? They
That's a
say,
heck of a-
dude, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
But
Too expensive?
listen to mine.
Yeah.
No, it's just like it gets no traction.
I just
We
love
played
the
Boston.
idea
I
you
announced
gotta-
it on the stage.
The
one
only
night.
thing those Dropkicks usually here every like April anyway, or March for. St.
Yeah, they
Patrick's Day.
were. I think at Southside recently.
But
They're
I love
always
that
in
you
the
have an
area.
event where, like, the goal is Willie Nelson, but, like, next is Dropkick Murphys.
Well, that's just a reality. I mean, it is Willie Nelson.
No,
right?
but that's super badass. That is a testament to what a cool festival that you're putting together.
what
It's
do you-
not the same
can do
stuff
whatever
all
you
the
want.
time. Like
Yeah.
you think things that would be badass, and that's what you put together.
you
No,
get
and
the-
that speaks to like, is there a flavor to the festival, like genre-wise, or how would you describe it?
I think in the most basic way, it's always going to be somewhat American roots music.
Okay.
But that does not mean alt country, obviously. Although the first year was a lot of alt country because that was kind of the idea. Let's start there and then go. But I mean, there's so much good music that, and it wouldn't have to just be American. It could be, from Europe or something. But if the Pogues would get back together, I would love that too. but I mean, a rootsy, thing like
a flavor
there
is
are
starting to
plenty.
appear.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had Mavis Staples last year.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't call her country at all, but there's like American roots to her
Right.
sound. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to see a whole lot of trigger sample stuff going on. Not that it's horrendous if it's done cool. Like the Eels are good.
Oh, Eels would be a cool
We did they've been on the list. We did a Lollapalooza them a long time ago. Made friend with E, and that would be amazing. There would be a lot of triggered samples, but in the end, Eels is great songwriting and kick-ass music.
And then there's a bunch of locals on the bill every year. Is it about 50-50? Or I don't know. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
this year?
usually about 2 locals. We think. Yeah, about 2 locals, and then starts branching away from that. Usually an Austin musician. Erica is doing it this year for Heartless Bastards. Justin Towns Earl did it one year.
Yeah. So, Old 97's County Fair,
Yeah.
Main Street Gardens. Tickets are still on sale. Where do you buy those online?
Probably.
All right. Yeah.
I know, it's
Check it out.
old97cf.com.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And tickets are still available for this weekend.
Tickets still available. Kids under 10 free.
Do you know,
Right
do you know
there,
how
right?
much it is?
No,
Like 40, 50?
probably $40. I don't
And
even
you have a Ferris wheel. I know that's a big
we
deal.
have a free Ferris wheel.
So like,
that you
because
can
it's
go
run
right
by
on.
the same guys who do Homegrown.
Yes.
But Homegrown has 2 stages. And
Yes.
you guys have one stage,
Yes.
and where the other stage would be during Homegrown
Is a Ferris
you have
wheel.
a 40-foot Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Which
That
how did that come to be?
When it was first coming up, the idea, somebody said county fair, and then we said, what about a county fair in downtown Dallas? And then, of course, you immediately go, we got some rides.
Yeah.
And then Wes, I think it was Wes's idea. He's like, that's our manager. He's like, yeah, we should have a Ferris wheel. And then I remember the next time we got on the phone together, he said, well, guys, everything's going great with the county fair, but I'll tell you what, you'd be surprised how much Ferris wheel costs for a day. And we're like, really?
That's Ferris wheel like a third headliner.
That's why they sell.
yes.
That's why they sell tickets to Ferris wheels.
Right.
I think it's a free ride once you're inside the.
Yeah, it's free once you're in there.
Transpaco's added a Ferris wheel this year.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, it's kind of cool to be out there in the middle of nowhere on a Ferris wheel.
Have you been to the barbecue joint in the Design District, Ferris Wheelers? They have a Ferris wheel.
It's not free. You have
Ferris
to pay.
Wheelers. Nice.
Ferris
It's like
Wheelers?
$10 to go on.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Ferris
they do.
Wheelers. It's
Yeah, Ferris wheelers up by Rodeo Goat on Market,
Design
and like
District,
35.
barbecue beer joint.
Good name.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is a good name. I'm
It's
not
somewhere
over there
between
much.
Ferris wheel and Ferris Bueller.
Oh, is that a Ferris Bueller thing?
I kind of feel like it is.
It's got to be.
You know, I went to Ferris
No,
Wheelers and I
Wheeler?
never went to the
Wheeler?
patio. I like went inside and I ate barbecue and I left. I like didn't go into the
I
backyard.
actually haven't been yet, but it's cool. It's a cool concept.
I never saw Ferris Bueller until last summer, first time ever.
Really?
No,
is
get the
wrong
fuck
with
out of
you?
here. How do you not see Ferris Bueller? Like,
You know, sometimes
just
things-
naturally by
I
osmosis.
understand.
Well, sometimes life comes at you pretty fast. You don't stop looking around.
Next thing you know, you haven't seen it. I've never seen the Goonies either.
You're not missing anything.
Doesn't look that good.
Pete likes to be controversial. You heard
Yeah.
it here first. Central Track thinks the Goonies suck.
Goonies.
Yeah.
Two thumbs down. Ken and Pete.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
fine.
we forgot to bring up commentary. Anton will hear us in about 45 seconds when the audio catches up, but maybe he can let us know if there's any comments going on in that chat thread over there.
What did Willie Nelson
Well, I
say?
got a question.
Yeah,
though,
Willie
'cause-
Nelson
so
said.
we're
Willie
obviously
Nelson said
in
what in the
Deep
comment
Right.
thread?
We're
How
in
the
Deep
comment
Ellum.
thread going?
You've
You
been
got
playing
anybody?
Deep Ellum. Were you playing Deep Ellum before 97's?
No.
Or was that your first band you were playing around?
Yes.
All right, but you've seen this neighborhood live music for 25 years.
Right.
What you're seeing right now has got to be crazy. I know you guys got your start at Naomi's. Where was Naomi's?
Canton Street up there.
Like by the Futura lots?
Kind of by. It's. I used to
That was
remember
the
cross
7
street.
a.m. bar that Pete Zodos
It's
was
a
talking
laundromat
about.
now. It's a laundromat now. Canton Street, pretty far up, like at the very end.
Like towards Expo? Like there's a laundromat past the double wide when you're heading towards like
They
Expo.
opened at 7
Kinda-
a.m.
That was Naomi's?
Yeah, I could tell if I saw it.
The volleyball place?
No.
We actually started though right back there where
That was I'm not wrong though, that was home base for a while, Naomi's.
yeah. That was our first gig right over there in Maine and Elm at the
Okay.
on the backside of what was Gypsy Tea Room and
Okay.
out the door or whatever.
Yeah.
That was the first gig, and then so Naomi's was this little country bar, $1 canned beer, dogs playing pool, thing run by a Korean war vet named Carol that lived out in Quitman, and he ordered Carol, he had a big gun.
Oh, he?
Yeah.
We have a Carol in the neighborhood that's different.
Well, it was- right.
What is
It's different.
what is that
The
mean?
old lady panhandler, that Carol, the like real haggard looking one
Ah,
that like
no.
that won't eat food.
She won't eat food?
Different
Yeah, you
Carol.
give her food, she'll throw it on the ground and cuss at
She
you.
wants cash.
Oh yeah,
And cigarettes.
and cigarettes. She sat there and
I respect
smoked.
a lady who knows what
She
she
sat
wants.
there and smoked a whole cigarette with me and Jeff, and explained to us all the times that all the organs she had inside her that were detached. She said she had an eyeball that fell out, and she cleaned it off and put it back in. She said that her heart, all the
Floated
ligaments
around.
connecting her heart disconnected. Now her heart just floats around in her chest. It's not where it's supposed to be. And that she got shot in the spine, and that it was there's a compound in the sidewalks that will heal wounds, and that's the only reason she's able to walk. is
she's
'cause
the bionic woman.
She's
put-
schizophrenia.
She put her bullet wound directly on the sidewalk, and that was what was able to heal her to help her be able
That's
to walk.
schizophrenia talk there.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend using the sidewalk. to
Oh no,
heal
no,
your
she's she's out every single night out here asking for money.
about it.
She's still
Anybody
still
that
thinking-
you know if
I
you
probably
saw her,
would know.
and she's an interesting cat.
And she actually just got out of jail. She has been in there for 41 years because she was convicted of
How old is this lady?
JFK.
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
Yes.
she's
There
big
was,
talk. Nice.
yeah, there was part of it.
All
Not
in
a
one
big talk.
cigarette.
One cigarette, that whole conversation happened.
We didn't say anything.
What do you think of what this neighborhood's like these days? You ever make it down here anymore? Or?
Yeah. Not a lot.
He's only in
But
Tentpole
some.
City, man.
I wish we played here more, but
Flagpole.
well, you know, it's different. It
And
feels
I don't
more.
mean to. I mean, I see Philip out at shows a lot down here.
I
I'm
know
sure you make it.
sometime.
You got kids. You're going around. I mean,
But
surely
sometime.
you're aware of this is going through a boom.
Yeah. But what I like about it now, it was so spiked in the 90s. It was so intense that when we started the band, it still felt like the backside of the tracks. And by 2001, when David kind of got his neck and broke at our show at the Gypsy Tea Room, it felt like every lunatic, jello shot, the type of people that take their shirts off and get shit-faced and wrestle, they were all here.
Yeah.
It was the
They're on their way back.
Fighters and
Duncanville
biters.
had shown up and they were just bro, and it was a bummer. It wasn't any feeling of creativity, art, anything like that had left the building. I feel like the current Deep Ellum, it's not peaked. You don't have these Friday and Saturday nights that are like you can't even.
I don't know,
It's
man.
a zoo.
You should come
I've been
here.
down here. I have been. No, I come along, but it's not the same deal. But it's also more stable. You know, it's like this restaurant, this place we're in right now feels like it could, like it's not just selling 75-cent liquor to get as many people in here because we're closing in a month if this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Everything felt like
We
that.
have a
then.
few places like that.
Yeah.
I mean, those places exist in every neighborhood.
So it's great.
I like that you had bros back then too in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't know if you called them back bros.
Well, just whatever, you know. What
Yeah,
I mean.
what were they?
yeah,
What
for
were
sure.
they called back then?
I have no
Dudes,
idea.
like in trucks, and
Dudes.
Yeah,
Used to be
meatheads.
kegs.
Now it's bros.
Meatheads, maybe.
just meatheads. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember one time going to one of our gigs, and there was a pickup truck, and it was bumper to bumper track. I think we were playing Trees, and a pickup truck, the whole back end had a keg in it, and these dudes in no shirts and girls, and you're just like, it's the spring break crowd.
Is that a tough thing? I imagine
All
it's
the
got to
time.
be like when you're a band, you're making music that speaks to you, but you don't have a say over who your music speaks to. I mean, have you ever had just like crowds you're like, fuck this?
It's not. Yeah,
I went
sometimes.
to a Sturgill show where I could tell on
He was
stage
like
he was
pissed. He's
just
like, I
not
can't
happy
believe
about
this is
it.
who I'm playing to.
Yeah.
What
He said out loud, I don't know if I'm boring the shit out of y'all or you're just trying to be really respectful. Like,
Yeah.
that's about as much of it you can say fuck you to your audience.
Have you ever said fuck you to your audience, Ken?
No, we have pretty good audiences, but what I get you is when you're talking to somebody afterward, and they're like, "Hey man, I love you guys." Okay, that's cool. And to get off of that subject, they'll say, "Well, who else do you like?" And they'll say,
Oh, what's the worst band you've heard in that?
"Oh, it's always these terrible bands that I hate, like that band called The Band. I think it's terrible." No, I just think the worst.
That's way more controversial than me saying it all.
We got it right here. Worst. It's awful.
Ken
Awful.
Bethea of the old 97's does not like the band.
No one in the old 97's like The Band.
Hey,
Everybody makes fun of it.
Name more than 3 songs from the band.
well,
There aren't more than 3.
Name more than one American in the
Cripple
band.
Creek.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, what other bands did
I
they say?
don't know. The last Waltz playlist.
Like a lot of people will bring up like maybe like widespread panic,
yeah.
Okay.
jam bands, and you'd be
Yeah.
like,
I
not so
can
much
see that.
there, you know. And I mean, you get people that like you really want them to talk about.
I don't listen to Widespread at home, but going to a Widespread show is an experience.
Yeah, it's one I will never, unless I happen to be on tour with them. It's something I'll
They
never.
play some great Talking Heads covers.
I do like that. I like Talking Heads.
You don't like the
love the
jam
Talking
band
Heads.
kind of
Go
thing?
on.
What's that?
You don't like jam band kind of
No.
mentality?
Fuck that
of-
noise.
I like Primus, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
That's
Or
like
it's
a-
like jam band adjacent.
Of the bass. It's like that's the there was the bass.
Well, they got funny voices,
jam
too.
band bass
Yeah.
of the
No,
guitar.
I go for the
Who in
jam
the
band.
97's is the worst taste in music?
Everyone's got pretty good taste. I'm not just saying.
no
I would.
no one's
I would
bumping
say
Despacito
over
No,
on
no,
the
no, no,
bus.
no. Okay, I'm gonna tell you.
You know it was a good question. He paused.
Well, no. Here's the deal. Probably Rhett.
Okay,
But
okay.
the reality is, he has really good taste in music. He's a huge
Well, he loves
Bowie
Britpop.
fan. Yeah, but he has he has these other bands he gets really into. Everybody really does have pretty good music taste. I mean, maybe not have
Is
the
it
worst.
varied, or do you guys like the same?
Pretty
stuff?
varied. But I mean, everybody's on the same big page. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Just Darth Vader'd that.
you know, the classics everybody loves, Ramones, Clash, those are
The
big
band.
players, not the band. Everybody likes CCR, but Rhett may not like CCR, actually. Everybody likes David Bowie. Everybody likes, you know. Rhett's 8 years younger than me, though, and here's a good example.
I don't know if we'll find
That's the
those
youngest
Credence
number, right?
tapes.
Rhett. So Rhett doesn't like Springsteen that much, but I'm a huge fan.
Like he's a storyteller. Just
Well,
like,
but here's the reason. Rhett was in junior high when Born in the USA came out,
Oh.
so it was felt like, so that was his first.
we just misread Bruce.
Right. Like it's the reason I had never seen Ferris Bueller. It came out when I was in college,
Okay.
so it just seemed like a kid show.
Yeah.
You know.
I've heard some of his songs. I mean, because I never got into it, and I don't like it.
Bruce?
He's just too talking about Jersey.
Yeah, but not always. Not always. And I think it's great.
He's too talking
I think it's
about
amazing.
Jersey.
Yeah,
That's what he does. Every song he mentions Jersey.
Well,
No.
you're also a Yankee,
I think
too,
every
you know?
song.
But you know who is true greatness that everyone in my band agrees with, and I will argue with anybody. It's the greatest American band of all time.
Bob Dylan.
No, band first of all.
Oh, band.
But this
Yeah.
is better than Bob Dylan.
Bring it on.
Everything about it is impeccable. There's nothing about this band you go, yeah, but what about this? This is this. They didn't become shitty.
Pearl
REM.
Jam.
REM.
Ah,
Dude. All what?
Yeah.
All what? First of all, no
there's a
band
great
is.
David Spade bit about REM, and he says, "I only know 3 REM songs, and guess what? I don't like 2 of them."
Well, guess what? David Spade's not funny. What's the last
Oh,
thing
he's
he did?
yeah.
Not
Yeah,
funny.
Ken's-
Not funny.
You're a new co-host.
He's not
Tom.
funny. I can't believe you're even name dropping David Spade. Look, REM. Tell me another American band that dominated 2 decades. None is the
Pearl
answer
Jam.
to that.
Aerosmith.
Well, they first of all are REM wannabe.
Blink-182
That's not
had
true.
like a good
That's not
10
true.
years.
Not true. No, you know what? I don't think they
said
dominated the
Blink-182?
90s because I think REM was bigger than them in the 90s. But I can't. I've never met anybody in Pearl Jam, but we have a guy who goes with us on tour as a friend of mine. That's Mike McCready's guitar tech.
Yeah.
And he straight up says, and I totally believe him because this guy's super cool. He'd be great on your podcast, actually. His name's Donnie Spada. Donnie straight up says the guys in Pearl Jam are the best of all time. So those are the coolest dudes you'll ever hang out with. So I've never been a
Great
big fan,
live show,
but
too.
now I'm like,
I love Pearl Jam.
I want to at least go see him or something.
Yeah.
I do the Ween thing. Ween's my favorite
Ween?
American band.
Ween is great.
Yeah. They played Halloween at Bomb Factory.
Yeah.
One of like the 5 or 6 favorite shows that I've been to like ever.
Do they
It was
still? Did they ever
super
play
badass.
Buenos Tardes Amigos live?
Yeah, they closed with Buenos Tardes Amigo at the Broomfield show. I went when they first got back together. They did 3 nights to repeats, 105 songs between Friday through Sunday, and they closed Friday night with Buenos Tardes Amigo. And I loved it because obviously, as a fan, you would understand the last lines of that song is. I hope that I would see you again, and it's their first show back together after 6 years.
Right,
And
so it's cool.
It was like
Cool
I'm
thing to
getting
see.
goosebumps talking about it right
Yeah.
now, but like that was just
Yeah.
a really perfect like way to get to see them when they were coming back together, and went out and made it
And
happen.
3 nights, no
They were
repeats.
they were on Electra.
Yeah.
They were on Electra.
Yeah.
We were on Electra.
Yeah, totally.
Hey, so
Help
given
yourself,
that,
obviously.
obviously at the festival, and probably at a lot of your shows at this point, you're playing to people who've probably seen you before, right?
Yep.
Does that come into your set list
Yeah,
selection
for
and
sure.
everything?
For sure. Like if we're playing, yeah, for sure. I mean, you
Like
just
when
kind
you're
of
playing the county fair, you're like, we're gonna do a different set.
Like we
And
will
how so?
probably play a few more songs off our first 3 records that we still think of as those records are all Dallas records.
Yeah.
Straight up. Everything about those are Dallas. And before Rhett and Murray had moved and things like that. And then, we're going to play luckily for us, our last 2 records have been really popular and sold
Yeah, they've
well.
been great.
So we can play a lot off those 2. And then you just handpick a few others and go from there.
And then do you have to play question in case someone wants to propose?
No, because
I swear to God, like
They do
every
it.
97
Yeah.
show, y'all
They
play
do.
question and someone proposes.
I'll say this much.
What do you
Every-
think? What do you think the divorce rate on all 97's proposals?
It's got to be pretty high because all the other songs are about breaking up. They're all breakup songs, but one.
You're 6-year-old lady killers.
But every time we'll say, let's don't play question. We'll play off of it.
And then you get a
But
request.
They want to hear it, and
Yeah.
I've looked out there before, and the most biggest, burly dude, and we'll play question, and he'll
crying
have
a-
this.
crying
He'll
a
be going
single
like
tear.
this. Yes, he's crying a single tear. So you go, well, man, this is for all the lovers out here, and it's every one of you little bitches.
Sometimes,
No, but I've
sometimes
definitely-
this big
I've
mean
definitely
dudes
seen
have a real
proposals, I mean,
soft heart on the
At
inside.
97 shows.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Is that neat or is that weird? Like, how do you feel about that? What's the handshake mean? You don't
That
like
creeps
it?
me out. Yeah.
So,
Man, I once saw a proposal on stage at a Yellow Wolf show. Like, do you know Yellow Wolf? Like,
Yeah.
southern white rapper with dreads. And it's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I know who that
yeah, y'all are going to last.
is. Yeah, really. That's what are you, 14?
Yeah, it's like,
Couple 14-year-olds.
I fucking love you. Let's do this for real.
I'm going to see Less Than Jake in 2 weeks. Pretty excited about the big LTJ show.
Is that Gas
Speaking of
Monkey?
bands that have been, yeah, see Gas Monkey.
Who else is it? It's got to be two other 90 bands.
I don't remember. Last time I saw him, it
Marcy
was Pepper.
Playground and who else?
Last time I saw him, it was Pepper, and Pepper opened for
Basketball
Less Than Jake.
Clutch.
Pepper.
Yeah,
I don't know Pepper.
Pepper's like.
Is that like the Butthole Servers cover band?
Pepper's kind of like surf,
was a Butthole
surf
cover
rocky
band.
kind of vibe to almost Sublime-y sort of thing going on. I used to have a friend who was super into it, but
When we recorded our last record, Sublime was in the next studio.
Oh, yeah?
With Rome. With the hotel.
You're legally
Sublime with
required
Rome.
to say with
Rome is a
Rome.
cool guy.
Because
He's a
they're
nice
not
guy.
Sublime. Like,
Right.
it's like a weird.
Sublime with Rome.
It was Sublime at that time.
y'all have an alias except for when you're not legally allowed to use
Yeah,
it,
what's
right?
your like fake name? Like, so technically this Barley show, you
Well,
could you can break
We've
your own
always
radius
gone by
clause.
satellite writers, and
Okay.
Robert said came up with most dressed up.
Oh, that's good.
I like satellite writers better, but
'Cause
I
most
didn't
messed
weigh
up.
in. There was a text.
Satellite
thing.
Riders is the one that I've heard.
Yeah, it's satellite writers.
Well, like Slaughterbone's always whiskey glass hour, right?
I didn't know that.
They are when they're doing like their fake shows. I mean,
So you know Guar with the like outfits?
familiar.
I heard that Guar used to open for themselves outside of the outfits, and
You
they
know-
would just make up a random band name, and they would just
You know
throw
Casey
down
Orr?
whatever
He
they
was in
wanted.
Guar.
That's
Yeah.
the coolest thing
That's
ever.
pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would just open for themselves, come up with a random band name,
Collect the
have some
$250
fun,
bucks.
enjoy
Hold on. Speaking of random
themselves,
pairings, I know I've seen you
strap
do
on
this
the
before.
gear and pour blood all over
But
each
y'all
other,
play, like
just
who's
like
the
every
who's the
night.
strangest, weirdest band you've played with?
Tyrant.
What do you,
Okay.
who do you think the strangest band he's played with?
Okay, there's two that jump right off the page. One,
Are these like festivals
Captured
or
by
tours?
Real
okay,
Wow.
that's the thing. I'm gonna tell the one that was a real gig.
Okay.
Captured by
The
Real
one
Wow.
that's to me still the strangest. But there was like 3 or 4 bands. Was Def Leppard.
Nice. That's not
But-
weird. That's awesome.
And well, I mean, it's just a weird thing. But the one that I think is the strangest was in Atlanta, and it was a co-headline, us and Wyclef.
I love that.
Wyclef Jean.
That's
Jean.
like right up my alley.
Yeah.
I would rock.
It
fuck
was
out.
really cool.
97's,
It was cool.
Wyclef
Wyclef
Jean,
Jean, yeah,
co-headline.
It was
I like
really.
that.
It was a fun night. Like it was
Carnival
about.
is an incredible album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool.
You know that?
No.
It is.
More if you could.
Well, you know.
My homie Mark Rebier speaks French fluently, and
yeah?
occasionally he'll drop a French track in his little like loop thing that he does, and it's super cool. I got a buddy; he's like a rising star musician, I think, and he's doing some
cool.
really cool stuff.
Improv guy.
He's been on the show a couple times, but he does all the like loop pedals with the keyboards and builds his
Is
builds
he
his
from
whole
here?
thing. Yeah, he's from here.
What's his name?
Like literally
Mark
from
Rebier.
here. He used to.
What's
he
his
used
last
to,
name?
Rebier.
Is it?
Really
Ray?
complicated.
Not
Yeah.
Ray?
And he's really kind of blown up on YouTube lately. He did a show here and he live streamed it, and there was over 1,000 people watching his live stream on his YouTube channel.
cool how
He's
you
over
use the
20,000
technology.
subscribers.
Does he play guitar?
He is
sampling
mostly
samples and-
keyboard oriented.
But he's a hell of a player. Like he's not
Yeah.
just.
Oh yeah, no,
he
no.
knows
He
what
like
he's
he
doing.
like
It's not just
really.
dick jokes. It's
Yeah,
not just
I mean it's a
bloodhound
lot
gang.
of.
Although
dick
last
jokes.
time I saw him, he did a song about queefing.
Well,
so-
you know,
That's not a dig joke. That's a
Anytime-
queef joke.
Yeah.
A put joke.
Excellent point.
Like
He
I
did.
said.
He did. No, one of my friends had his 5-year-old here, and he was like, oh my gosh, and I was like, hey, it's her 5-year-old's birthday, and he was like, yeah, we've got lots of things coming up. There's boys, and he was like playing a song. And his dad was like, no, and he was like, and periods. He just like kept going and doing his Mark thing.
How old are
Yeah,
your
it was
kids?
completely crazy.
My son's graduating high school this year, and my daughter is going into the 10th grade. So.
Do they think it's cool that their dad's a rock star? Do they get it? Do they like the old 97s?
Yeah, they think it's cool because of they'll go to school and maybe wear a t-shirt or something. The teacher will bring it up, or they have friends at school. But around our house, it's not like there's 3 posters up, so it's not like everybody must learn to play guitar. But you know, both my son plays guitar, my daughter plays saxophone in the marching band. And
All right. Well, do your kids'
Like how you did
friends'
the feet,
parents think it's
Yeah.
cool?
You gotta march.
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do they know who you are?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
but, no, but we
One
know
of his
them.
kids' friends.
We,
definitely.
well, I don't have a
My
job, dude.
buddy
I'm the guy walking up and down Lake Highlands,
Yeah,
middle
you
of the day.
pick up the kids and everything. I mean, but
Yeah,
you
I pick my
coached your
daughter.
kids and
I
all
didn't
that.
pick up my daughter today because I came to this. But I pick her up every day.
Yeah, she's still there waiting.
Walk around the
out.
neighborhood. I told my wife,
She's in
don't forget
10th
to watch
grade.
it.
She's fine.
It's like Hook.
Yeah.
She'll just
I mean,
hitchhike home.
Yeah, when
Instead
I
of
was
business,
coaching, most of those
it's
people didn't know what I did.
Really? So,
Matter of fact, virtually none of them.
so they don't hit you up for tickets or anything?
Not the coach people, but other people. Sometimes do, but usually they're people in my neighborhood have jobs. It's all my relatives and my friends from like 25 years ago who hit you up for tickets.
Oh, Josh Florence just chimed in on the old thing.
Ooh.
What up, Flo?
What up?
Was he won? Trying to get more money out of it, right? Here, I got. Here's my wallet. You can come get into my wallet over here.
But so I think one of my favorite things about the 97's, there's a lot of cool things, and I think I'm kind of on record as being a fan and supporter. But I love how you guys take local bands on tour with you, which you don't have to do. But you've always gone like that's been from like kind of the jump since you were headlining tours, right?
Yes, and it's straight up. Why not? Because the reality is, most of the bands that are doing an opening slot are not getting paid much money. It's
You'll take them for like a month. Like you'll take them out for a while.
It's $200 to if they're really going good, $500, which is not much money. But so okay, we could go get a band from Sacramento or Nashville. Why not get the Death Ray Davies? Why not get Slobberbone? Why not get
Vandaliers or
the
Whiskey Folk
Vandaliers,
Ramblers or
Madison King?
Yeah. And I think it's cool because I think that your fan base is really supportive. And I know, like, just talking to Corey and the Vandaliers, like, your fans went up and, like, snatched up all that Vandos merch. And that's really cool how, like, supportive your fans are of the bands that you guys pick.
They tend to be, we've done our fair share of opening, and usually opening kind of sucks. Like you just feel this wall of, like, they don't give a crap. They want you to stop playing. But I've always felt like, in general, our fan base is the type of people that like both Willie Nelson and Dropkick Murphys and the Rolling Stones and give me another
have a
band,
wide appeal for
So I love it when a band goes out with us. And the only thing I want them to do is do exactly what the Vandaliers have done, which is parlay that into something for themselves. Go back on tour. Make it. Go on tour and make. Fly, little bird, fly.
Was there a band that like did that for you guys or no?
No, not at all. We didn't get to open for anybody until we had. I mean, we did like 2 gigs with Sunvolt. We didn't do it. The first band. Here's the 3 bands we toured with, toured with, but it was because we were on Elektra and shoehorn stuff. But we did do Chris Isaac, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And guess what we heard about Chris Isaac? Guess what he has?
What?
Big dick.
Well,
That's why he has so much
What a
confidence on
shitty
stage.
rumor.
I can hear.
I bet he hates that rumor.
Oh, it's why he's got confidence on stage. He just knows, right?
That's why his voice is so deep.
We heard it from a girl that was on tour and knew about it. So there
That's
was
how you know.
Cake, which
I
is
love
nice.
Cake. I'm a huge Cake.
really cool band, right? Yeah,
That's
cool
an
band.
interesting pairing.
And they give
Yeah,
away a
we
tree
were
at
always
every
trying-
show. Did they give away a tree at your show?
They did not, but
That's a thing they do now. At their
I saw them at
events.
Red Rocks
Yeah,
with the
that's
Flaming
cool.
Lips.
That was the
cool
first
show.
time
That is a cool show.
I ever
played Red
smoked
Rocks?
weed in front of my
We're
dad. was
playing
at a
it.
Cake
We
show.
played it once before. We're playing it June 13th. We'll be at Red Rocks. Come out.
But you headlining? Who with?
Turnback Troubadours.
Oh, cool.
Redneck,
Oh, wow.
Redneck
Well,
World,
that's
yeah.
Wow.
Red
Who else
Red
on
Dirt
that
World.
Charlie Crockett's
Charlie
been touring
Crockett.
with
Charlie
Oh,
Crockett.
cool.
Yeah.
He's a neighborhood guy.
It's us, Charlie
That's
Crockett,
awesome.
and
Charlie Crockett's like totally a neighborhood guy. He comes
He's
in
great.
here from time to
oh really?
time when he's
Does he
in
live
town.
here?
One
Oh,
of his traveling guitar players, Alexis South,
Alexis, yeah.
works
Oh,
with
no
us.
way.
Yeah,
Oh,
when
yeah,
they go
you're
on
fucking-
tour, when Alexis pops back in town,
We've done a couple shows.
We
They're
still
great.
let him jump on the schedule.
You took Charlie out, right?
No,
does
but
his
we've
thing.
just done some shows here and there. He's awesome, man. They're
Do you
awesome.
still have
And
first time
Smokey,
playing Red
Smokey's
Rocks,
in
right?
the band. That's cool.
Do you still have bucket list places that you need to play, or do you
know that,
feel like
right?
Smokey?
The places that are out there
Smokey
are
from
places,
Big Lebowski
unless we
is in
open, we
Really?
won't play at all. Like
Oh, no, I
Madison Square
didn't know
Garden would
that.
be fun.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Or Carnegie Hall. You know what I mean? I would, man.
I mean, do you like run scenarios like how could we get in Madison Square Garden?
Well, we have to have REM get back together,
And then
we
we
have
could
to have
open.
them ask us to
The
open for
greatest
us.
American band
Radiohead.
ever.
Thought of another one. I guess they're kind of English.
You like
They're
them?
definitely English.
Yes, sir.
They kind of.
What about Radiohead?
That's a callback to like 20
Well,
minutes ago. We
yeah.
were talking about great American bands.
Yeah.
But they're British.
No, they're not
I know.
American
Tom is
at all.
spelled with
Hey,
an
I
H.
fucked up. I'm just saying.
We're at the end of the Growlers.
But I guess at Madison Square Garden, I saw them there, and then I thought, if you just get on their bill, there you go.
Yeah, and that would be good.
Yeah.
It's not gonna get to happen probably for radio.
Who else are you excited to
probably
see?
just. I don't think Radiohead's gonna ask us out.
Hey, man.
Never know, right?
Hey, you're 27 and started playing, guitar. You're 29 and started playing guitar.
I feel like the
That's
first county fair. You said it was pretty country. I felt like it was pretty punk rock because Deer Tick was on it, and I love
Yeah.
them. And then last year felt like pretty legacy because you had like some older performers.
For sure.
With Mavis and Lucinda.
Jayhawks, Lucinda Mavis.
Yeah. So like, this year seems like a marriage of the first two. Is that
Pretty
fair?
young. It's pretty young this
Think
year.
so?
Well, Lord Huron, Valerie.
Okay.
Now the Mavericks are older.
Yeah, and Bottle Rocket.
Mavericks are great. Bottle Rocket's about like us. They were the first what I would call. Well, yeah, doesn't matter. But
I think I know what you're about to say.
no,
Were
I
you
just
say alt country.
yeah, sort of.
Weren't you guys the first band to ever have that term applied to you?
That was my understanding.
Well,
And no depression, right?
In those days, here's what was going on in those days. First of all, we just started a band because
I
we
know.
were like, we don't want to be like Nirvana because Funland's already got that together and they're going to. So we were like, let's just do a different thing. Rhett was writing these folk songs, so whatever. So then when we had met these
Brett
people,
still singing a British accent at that point?
no, but he's saying with a real country accent. He's going from British country. So
Radiohead.
when we hooked up, we started hooked up with those Bloodshot
Just
Records
like
people.
Radiohead.
Which is a
Bloodshot?
label, yeah, Bloodshot is out of Chicago, right? So there was the Chicago's. It was like East Coast, West Coast. It was Midwest versus Seattle,
Okay.
because Seattle was No Depression.
Yeah.
And really, No Depression was championing Uncle Tupelo and the two bands from that, and then they like bands like The Band, right? Shitty bands like The Band. And then, the Chicago thing was very more into punk rock.
That the 97's
You know,
the band.
Waco Brothers and stuff like that.
Innocuous band aid.
Yeah, so anyway, that was the deal. We always felt like we were the punk rock band, right? Like because we loved the music and it wasn't like
fast. Yeah, you
wasn't
guys always
this.
play faster than like.
so. That's kind of went in those days. But the first time I went to see one of those bands, those No Depression bands, was the Bottle Rockets in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is kind of like Slobro, and I like Slobro, so I have to say this isn't bad.
But
even
is
though I
that a
wanted-
myth though? Were you not the first band to be called old country? I thought you were.
Well, there was about 4 or 5 of us.
In like one article. Is that
Will
what it was?
Coast. Well, I don't know. It could
No,
have
I'm
been in one
serious. Like
article.
I
maybe.
think you were
I
the
don't know.
first-
I've never heard.
That's the legend.
No.
Is that in an article in No
That's how
Depression?
that's how I think about it.
The word alt country was used, and you guys were the one it was applied to.
Maybe. I don't know.
I do not know.
Hey, that's the word on the
Because
street.
a lot of things you don't know about.
Well, you don't know the word on the street about you.
No,
Oh, I
you
do.
don't know.
It's horrible.
Well, yeah. It is.
And sometimes you hear a rumor. Okay, you know Josh, Homie.
Yeah.
You know Josh Homie, right? Josh Homie.
I
I've
don't
heard
know.
it's home, but it doesn't
I have
matter.
no
The story.
idea.
either
We all
way.
know who you're talking about.
So somebody told me one time that Josh Homie said the best song from the '90s was our song "Time Bomb." Well, I'm
awesome.
not going to cross-check it because at this point all I can do is
Yeah,
have
you
my
wanna
heart
believe it.
broken. I just believe it,
Yeah. Fuck
and we'll
yeah.
probably open. We've been playing damn Queen songs before our gigs every night. So
Speaking of Time Bomb,
Been playing
Great-
Queens of the Stone Age
I got it.
songs before. Huh?
Time Bomb had a great.
Yeah.
We have a Queens cover band, Lullabies to Paralyze, that has played with us a couple times at some
Yeah.
of our events and stuff. They're badass.
Time Bomb was in the movie The Breakup.
yes,
Was that a cool moment? Did you guys get a pop from that? So that's the Jennifer Aniston.
I got
Vince
$200
Vaughn
from
movie.
it
Do you
2 days
remember
ago.
Yeah.
Nice.
And like they go to an old 97's
I
concert.
don't think I saw it.
I mean, they go to an old 97's concert,
And Vince doesn't show up.
yeah, and they just play.
Spoiler
How many
alert.
times did you have to play Time Bomb that day?
Okay, so that was
Is that a fun day?
yes. It was 2 days first of all. It was 2 days first of all, and I mean, huge. My birthday's Christmas Eve, and nothing
December
makes.
19th.
Okay.
I throw
I
my
like it.
birthday party
Sagittarius.
on Christmas Day. Throw my birthday party on Christmas Day as a fuck you to Christmas.
Dude,
You should come. It's down in the Cedars. It's a
No,
it's
man,
a
I'm
great
celebrating
time.
Christmas. My favorite thing of the year.
That night.
Yeah, he's gonna ditch his kids. and
night.
come.
So,
Christmas
Tell the
night.
story about the
okay,
breakup.
so the Christmas story, Ralphie, you shoot your eye out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm a huge fan. So when I got there, I looked at the thing and I said, "Is this Peter Billingsley from the Christmas Story?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "I got to meet him right now." And they said, "All
Right
right,
now.
sure."
Bring him right over.
So because I was in the show and Ralphie knew we were coming, Peter, I immediately was his best friend for 2 days. We were there 2 days in a row. So
2 days.
yeah. So we shot at 10
What
a.m.
venue was that?
What?
What venue was that?
I always get mixed
Chicago,
up.
right?
Either at the Vic or let's just say the Vic.
I think it was the Vic.
It's like
Why
their
do you
version of
derail
the
this story, man?
I'm putting in details.
So here's what happened. So we were all super excited. 10 a.m. we had to start playing Time Bomb. We did Time Bomb, Mel Show, I think, and Berry Rave. I think we played them over and over.
And that's your song, man. I mean, you are Time Bomb. That riff is all you.
So, but when they set it up, there was about 600 people there that they had paid them like $10 each to come to the show, and Ralphie came up to me and said, you know how he kind of plays the straight man in the show? He is a squared away guy. He doesn't make a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
He says, so hey man, so we want this to look exactly like one of your gigs. I went around and kind of cherry picked the audience to make it look like the front of your gigs here.
Okay.
Is this about what it looks like? And I looked out there and I go, there's usually some younger girls up in the front. He goes, hot young ass. And I go, yeah, that's what you call it.
That's the ticket.
He goes, I can get you some hot young ass. And so there went Ralphie.
Ralphie?
This is Ralphie. So Ralphie went on. So I met the guys and go, dude, Ralphie is going to get us some hot young ass for the front because he got too much all country guys in the front. So they started pulling
Go find some ladies with
flannel.
eyes shut.
Flannel went back, and all the hot
my
girls
gosh.
up in the top came to the front.
man.
And then he just walked back up to him about 30 minutes later and goes, check it out. Got some hot young ass. How's that looking? And I said, dude, it looks great. Gave him a handshake. And that is the way you talk in Hollywood.
How did that happen? Like, was someone on that movie a fan?
Vince Vaughn.
Oh, cool.
Big fan.
Well, because you guys are, like, he's from Chicago. Chicago has always been, like, your second home, right? With the empty bottle.
But it's not anymore.
How come no Dallas venues get a shout out in your songs with the empty bottle did?
Naomi's. Because Rhett loves play on word.
It's a play
and
on word, yeah.
Empty bottle works both ways.
The empty
Hey,
bottle was
that's
half empty.
that's Carol.
Oh, is she out there?
She is.
Yeah, there she is.
Just walking through? Oh, I know
Yeah, she's got
Carol.
her halter top
Carol.
on.
Kind of
Yeah.
hot
She's
from the
got her
back.
halter top on. She's
all right.
She's feeling springy today.
I mean,
Dallas 5.
I think Ralphie would have pulled her to the front. What I see.
All right. Well, I think we're pretty much here at the end of the growler. You got another question?
I'm just wondering if there's anything else people need to know about the festival that you want to, if you want to sell it
No,
to
man.
people.
Just come and. No, it's all good, man. Don't sell too hard. You don't get your heart broken.
Hey, amen to that. Don't
Cheers,
sell
boys.
too hard. Don't get your heart broken.
like it.
Old 97's County Fair, Main Street Gardens. Old97cf.com is where to get those tickets.
Yes.
Thank you to my man Anton. We left you out on the beers today. Sorry about that. But thank you for doing all the work while we sit on stage and drink and enjoy ourselves. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. I'd love to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can start doing some cool YouTube stuff. And obviously, thank you to Central Track, Pete. I hope to have you back on the show. Thank you for
love to
having
come.
us on your network or whatever your thing is called.
Whatever your thing is called.
Yeah.
Let's just kill these off.
Uh-oh.
You're
Oh,
good.
no
he's
mas.
got a little sip left in there.
Buenas tardes, amigos.
Buenos tardes, amigos. And we're out.